You're watching this video with your eyeballs, which are basically pimped out pinhole cameras. The iris, that little black part in the middle of your eye, is how you see the world, because it's full of receptors. Those receptors collect light. Your eye is a bucket to collect light. Those receptors connect directly to your brain, which is why looking deep into someone's eyes is really a way to look deep into someone's brain. So this screen is 30 to 60 centimeters away. Down into your keyboard you can probably see a few crumbs, which is a few micrometers, and if you walk outside and you look up, you can see the moon at night time. It's about 400,000 kilometers away. But apart from that, our eyes are pretty useless. Even looking at the moon with our eyes, it's still a bit fuzzy and it looks completely different when we look at it through a telescope. But what is a telescope really doing, though? It makes your eyeball bucket bigger. Well, some telescopes like Hubble, which Jack Black's mother worked on, seriously, or the Alice P. Lennon telescope, which is run by the Vatican, yeah, that Vatican, or right next to it, the LBT, the Large Binocular Telescope, which has an instrument named Lucifer, with the Vatican next to Lucifer. Anyway, they all use mirrors. They all use big-ass mirrors to collect light. A pair of 8.4 meter mirrors like the LBTs is really like plucking out your eyeballs and putting in two 8.4 meter eyeballs. But there are physical constraints on how big a telescope can be. Why not just build one 100 meters wide? Well, in the 1600s, Adrian Azu wanted to build a 1,000 foot telescope so that he could observe animals on the moon. Obviously, he was not too aware of those physical constraints. See, small errors in the shape of a mirror can turn a sharp image into something completely useless. This is what happened to Hubble when Hubble was first sent up. The mirror was slightly out of shape and so all the images were blurry. Before they could go back up and repair it a few years later, they developed mathematical algorithms to turn a blurry image into a sharp image. It turns out they now use that same algorithm on mammograms, because looking for cancerous tissue in the background structures of a breast is similar to searching for stars in a blurry telescope image. But other telescopes allow us to have completely different eyeballs. See, our eyes see through a window. We see color. It's just a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's like we've been born in a burqa. We can't see anything else but colors. So telescopes that see in gamma rays, radio, X-rays, it's like taking off that burqa, allow us to see the world that's not in color. See, it's hard for us to understand what not color is because that's all we know. When we grow up, that's the rules that we live by. Everything we know is in color. But you've heard of them before. Radio waves, infrared, X-rays. These are all things you can't see, but we still detect them using things like the Parkes Radio Telescope, which detects radio waves. They've actually just released a virtual tour so you can walk around the telescope yourself. There's a link in the description. Infrared telescopes like the James Webb telescope, which is going to be launched in 2018, has a big enough mirror and is powerful enough to be able to image Earth-like exoplanets, planets around other stars. The best thing about radio and X-ray and infrared telescopes is that they make dust and gas virtually invisible. See this? This is Centaurus A. It's a galaxy outside of our own. Anyway, we can zoom in with Hubble, which is actually lubed up with whale oil. I'm not kidding. It's because sperm whale oil doesn't freeze in sub-zero temperatures. Using these other types of eyeballs, Centaurus A turns from this mysteriously shaped, blobby, black, messy spiral galaxy into this twisted remnant of two galaxies that collided in the past. And all of this is invisible to the human eye, and invisible to the Vatican, and Lucifer, and even the whale-lubed Hubble. But not invisible to these types of telescopes. And although NASA spent $3.5 billion on James Webb, it's going to change how we view the universe. After all, they spent $2.5 billion on Hubble. Would you wish they had not spent that money? Look at what it's given us. I can only borrow from Neil deGrasse Tyson. How much would you pay for the universe? Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more stuff in the future. If you have any ideas of things that you'd like to see, just put them in the comments, and thanks for watching.